And it's time for our opening song, everybody. I release and I let go. So let's all stand up and get ready to do our song. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, everybody, good morning. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only. Hey, say hello to somebody around you. Oh, come on. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. All right. Woo!
Good morning, everyone. You made it. How many were here last night? Oh, all right. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I am impressed. Should have seen the first service. They were practically
It was the majority,
the
yeah.
majority of them had been there last night. I thought, wow, I'd still be in bed sleeping if I didn't have to be here.
Me too, right?
Right. So anyway, let's see what's going on.
God's calling.
Yes, God's calling. I was going to say Santa, but that's all right, God. All right. As you know, Christmas and New Year's fall on Tuesday, and that's usually when we do our grief workshops. And so they will not be meeting these next 2 Tuesdays. But we know that this is a rough time during the year for people. They've lost loved ones, or you're going through something. So if there's an emergency, please call the office, and we will make sure that you're put in contact with someone that you can speak with.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yep.
And then this Wednesday, in the Ohm Room is going to be Reverend Ruth Ann and Michael, and they're going to do Pop Goes the Consciousness. So that's, that I think that sounds like a fun title after the holidays. So please join them this Wednesday at 6:30.
Especially after spending time with your family on Christmas.
Yep.
Pop!
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Yeah, exactly. And then Michael will be starting a class on January 3rd, the Essential Ernest Homes. And he will be this is where he will really be telling you a lot about Ernest. You're going to learn a lot about Ernest Homes. And so please join him. This is a accredited class. It's one of the required classes for practitioner, and you're going to go get a really deep understanding who this man is, Ernest Holmes. Sue Powell will be teaching her primordial sound meditation. It's a great class. It's wonderful. If you've been playing with the idea, this is a little different meditation, and it's wonderful to learn the different meditations. And she is certified by Chopra, and so please join her for that.
I invite everybody to show up once.
Yes, at
You will
least
definitely
once,
want to
and
show
then
up.
you'll be hooked. So.
Absolutely.
And then Christine Cummings is doing a wonderful book study. It's never too late to begin again. And that's a great way to start the new year off. And that will be on January 8th to February 26th. It's a love offering. So please join her for that. And the Rainbow Alliance, who we love, they're like the socialites of the center here. They are our socialites. And so they are going to be having a potluck here on New Year's Eve, and it's from 6 to 10. You know, it's the warm-up for the big party, or it's the wind down for bed. Whichever way. That would be mine.
The ball will
So-
drop at
yeah,
9. You'll
yeah.
all be in bed by 10:30.
Right, that's right. That's right. So please join them. And today, after the service, please, we're going to be pick up poinsettias. We're going to take down the poinsettia tree. I know.
Yes,
I'm
don't
so
make a
sad.
bad dash.
Yeah, but
If you would, please come and get a poinsettia, and someone will hand it to you. And if you see leaves on the floor, please don't step on them.
Yes,
because they
please.
dye our carpet a wonderful color of red.
Yes,
So,
yes. So
but
please
we want to
get
give those
those.
away, and so take those and give those
yes.
to people.
So anyway, all right.
That's it.
We have a video.
Yep, we have a video. So every week we're doing a video for you. So here's another one. And we can change the world at a time.
Hello, I'm Jean Terrell, the director of the Desert Sunset Threshold Choir. Threshold Choir, if you're not familiar with the organization, is an international volunteer organization with chapters throughout the United States and some abroad. Began in 2001, and our specialty is singing for those people at the end of life's journey, hospice patients, seriously ill patients.
Celebrate the best of you. Celebrate your dreams and your visions. Celebrate the love you've been given.
And we specialize in bedside singing. We find great joy and great peace for ourselves as well as for our patients when we go bedside to sing for them. Our songs are universal in appeal, speaking to peace, love, joy, comfort, and we always sing when invited. It is just a pure joy. The women who are in my choir at the present moment are lovely women who love to serve, and they have a voice, and this is how they can use their voice in service. We rehearse weekly here at the Center for Spiritual Living from 1:30 to 3:30. If this calls to you, if this is the kind of thing that speaks to your heart, please join us or give me a call anytime and I'll tell you more. There is a fantastic website, thresholdchoir.org, that you can check and learn more about the organization, hear some sample songs, and just become familiar with who we are and what we do.
Celebrate your life while you live it, even when it's hard to do. Celebrate the best of you. Celebrate your dreams and your visions.
One heart at a time. And we can change the world. One heart. So we highlight different things that are going around in the center so you can see where we're connecting to not just only our community internally, but also externally. Do I hear chimes? Jays, are those your chimes playing? Are they in front of a fan? Does someone have a necklace that has chimes or earrings or something? Are we good? I feel like I'm supposed to leave the planet right now. Now that the chimes are calling. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we do. We're showing you highlights. I know, not yet. Highlights of things that are happening around the center and ways for you to get involved in our community. So that's what we've been doing and highlighting for the past few weeks. So now I want to welcome our musical guest artist today. For those of you who were here last night, you were blown away, and you're going to get blown away again today.
That's
so
right.
welcome, Nikki Harris. Come on out, Nikki. Nikki has performed with Whitney Houston and Madonna and
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger and the Righteous Brothers.
Oh, let's say the good people, yeah.
Yeah.
Righteous Brothers, Ray Charles. I did a little movie called Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
So
I've done some things.
In other words, she's been around.
Yeah, I have. I
We
just
flew
keep
her
moving.
in from Augusta, Georgia to have the experience last night at Candlelight and today. So let's welcome Nikki Harris, everybody. And the song that she's doing?
I'm gonna do. Okay, can I have a little bit in my monitor, babe? There I am. Thanks, sweetie. We're gonna do a song. Why are you leaving? Aren't you singing this with us?
What?
I thought you were singing this with us.
Am I?
I'm just totally messing with
I'm
you.
I'm like,
because it's your. Well, it's hey.
Okay,
because
sure.
you can do this.
Always
you know
say
what?
yes to God. Yes, I know.
You can absolutely do this because this is a song about what this season really is about, okay?
Oh.
This season is about new birth, trying something new that was unexpected, but being led by a light, knowing that you would have all your needs met, even when somebody told you there was no room in the inn, right?
Right.
And for women, we know this. Sometimes you just need a man to get you a room already. Just find me a room. Because we understand that we don't get fearful in the labor pains of what might come, right? This song is called Just Keep Going On. Take every knock as a boost and every stumbling block as a stepping stone, okay? Right. That's what we gotta do. As the years go on, just keep going on. Because isn't somebody like 94 or something here? Isn't there a minister? Come
96.
on, she know about just keep going on. That's
she
right.
does.
That's right. She understands.
Well, when I tell the Christmas story, yeah.
Yes. She understands.
Well, when I tell the Christmas story, I asked Marion because she was there. She was-
I'm
One of
leaving
those-
that alone. So we say it like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, come on. Now, I live in Augusta, Georgia. So everything we do there, because see, that's where James Brown is from. So everything gotta be funky. But the song goes like this. It reminds us. Say, just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. You take every knock as a boost and every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold your own. Just keep going on. Come on, y'all. Just keep going on. That's what you gotta do. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. You take every knock as a boost and every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold your own. Just keep going. Listen, I say to every young woman, although to every young man, sometimes you get discouraged. Don't stop and wring your hand. Your privilege cannot be taken. Rights cannot be banned. And if someone like me can make it, I know you can. Come on, just keep going on. Just keep going on in 2019. Oh, just keep going on. You take every knock as a boost and every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold your own. Just keep, come on, play your song, baby. Play that organ. Right here. Yeah, honey. Give him some love, y'all. Come on. Now just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. You take every knock as a boost and every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold your own. Just keep going. Play your guitar, baby. Play your guitar. Oh, this is how we do it in Augusta, Georgia, honey. Oh. Yeah. Play it, baby. Not just the singers, come on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. Just keep going on. You take every knock as a boost, every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold your own. Just keep going. Take every knock as a boost, every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold your own. Just keep going. Take every knock as a boost, every stumbling block as a stepping stone. Lift up your head and hold
Nikki
Right?
Harris, everybody.
You never know what God gonna give you. You never know what life is gonna hand you. You gotta keep going on. Oh,
You got it, honey. You
you
did
feeling
it.
that?
I'm feeling it.
Oh, sorry.
Love you,
You know
sweetie.
me, I can keep going, so.
I know.
Keep going on. I can't keep going.
You- Let's hear it for Nikki, everybody. And these backup singers and the band, aren't they doing a great job? They've done an exceptional job, man. We have really put them through the paces the past couple days, and they've been exceptional, haven't they? Give them a round of applause again, everybody. Thank you. Jerry Lynn, organizing everything. Oh, okay, so let's move into our service. Every week we reaffirm our mission statement, so please join me. We are a dynamic, open, and positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our mission is to awaken you to your divine nature, empowering you to create the life of your dreams. We are changing lives, one heart at a time. So let's close our eyes, take a deep breath in, sink into the chair, let it support you. One more time, deep breath in, sigh on the exhale. There we go. Yeah, you may have a lot of things to do today, but what you have to do is in front of you. And that's just become centered in this moment. Concentrate on your breath, your breathing. Allow the very thing that is beating you to continue to beat your heart. Allow your mind to be free of any of those things that have been bothering you or you feel you need to get done or the lists or whatever. Just hit pause. They'll be back later on. Now we just get ourselves ready to receive whatever we're destined to receive in today's message. Take a deep breath in. Still my mind, be at peace in my awakening. I release as I love. Sing after me. As I love and as I give. As I give in my awakening, I choose to live. I choose to live. Give me strength. Give me strength. Shine your light. Shine your light in my awakening. In my awakening. Clear my sight. Clear my sight. All I believe. All I believe. And all I know. All I know. In my awakening. In my awakening. I let go. I let go.
I know that there is one power, one universal intelligence back of all creation. All things are God. God is in everything, is everything, and always, always expressing. I am a beloved child of God, created to express God in all aspects of my life. I have within me all the attributes that is God. I am one with God. And so I have within my hand the key to the door to open all the beauty and joy and love and light that is within me. I now no longer harbor fear or doubt, and I know that I have the power to create the life I choose. And I am now ready to define myself, not by other people, but within me, from the Spirit that is within me. I know that I am ready to have the love and the light with shining forth from me. I am a light in the room. I am a light in the world. I am joy. I am peace. I am serenity. I am beauty. And I am love. And so I walk through this life full of happiness and joy. And in this season of giving, I give compassion and love to all those that come in contact with me. I choose to be the light. And so I am grateful for this ability to create my life and to live with the power that is within me. I am grateful to be the light, to be a point in the world where I can shine and everyone around me shines with me. And so I now release my word, knowing that this is already so. I let go and I let God. If this resonates with you, please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my serenity. As within, all around, all I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love, and I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me now and ever. Let's take a deep breath in. Please join me. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one.
We are all one. When the universe gives you a gift like that, what do you say? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. That felt good, though, Jerry. Go and do your thing. Go ahead, take your time. That felt good. Joe said I can take my time and do what I want to do, so we're going to just have a good time. Is that okay? How do I say thanks for the things that God has done for me? Ooh, things felt undeserving. So I sing to prove my love for thee. But voices of 1,000,000 angels could not express my gratitude. All that I am and could ever hope to be, I owe it all to you. So I say, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things she has done with her love. She has raised me, and with her power, she has changed me. To God be the glory for the things she has done. Now just let me live. I gotta live my life, but I want it to be pleasing God to thee. And if I should gain, if Nikki gets any praise, come on, y'all. Now just let it be to the God in me. For it's with her love that she has raised me, and with his power he has changed me. To God be the glory for the things, every little thing, for the things I just wanna do his will, for the things he has done, the things he's
Didn't I tell you?
Nikki Harris, everybody. Woo!
I know.
And I got to follow that. Jiminy Christmas. Wow. Nikki, band, amazing job, right? Whew. I think we should just say the ushers should just step forward and be done right here. I'd be all right with that. All right. So what really happened on the ride to Bethlehem? Right? How many times can you hear this Christmas story? So I have to somehow change it around every year to try to make it interesting, not only to share with you, but so that maybe you can see something just a little bit differently this time. So I've done this talk in its context a little bit before, but there's been some new spins that have come up since then, so I think you're going to enjoy it. You ready? Here we go. Let's start with the traditional Christmas story. But let's do it by adapting some of our qualities today and things that are going on in the world today, and let's see how we do on the rebirth of the Christ consciousness through us today. Does that make sense? Are you with me? Yeah. I know after Nikki, that's a hard act to follow, but we'll try, all right? So we have some different people involved in the story, in the Christmas story. First of all, you have Mary. She's 14 to 15 years old. Young little girl, 14 to 15. She's single, but they said that every time Mary came into the room, it was like a breath of heaven. So either A, Mary was really hot, right? Or she just had an energy about her, or maybe a combination of both. She was probably beautiful and gentle, and she just brought, you know those people that bring an energy into a room, and you're like, oh, you know? She had that kind of charisma, that kind of energy. We also have another guy named Gabriel. He was an archangel. He was a messenger. He's the one who told Mary, girl, you're pregnant. Now, this is long before Jerry Springer was in Jerusalem. So they had no idea how they were going to determine the paternity of this little baby, but he's like, girl, you've been chosen. Can you imagine telling a 14-year-old girl, hey, look, you're not married and you're pregnant? At that time, even this week, but at that time, wow, that's some heavy stuff. Now, the interesting thing about Gabriel is Gabriel was an interfaith angel. You know why? Because not only did he deliver this message to Mary saying you're going to have this baby, but he's also the one that talked to Muhammad and revealed the Quran to Muhammad. Did you know that? So Gabriel was an interfaith angel. He crossed over religious borders. Think about it. A man ahead of his time was accepting all religions. Didn't even know he was doing it. An angel that was doing that for us. So Mary was engaged to Joseph. And imagine Joseph's surprise when he finds out that Mary comes and said, we got an issue. I'm pregnant. Now, at the time, that would be really something challenging for Joseph to handle because, I mean, you don't get pregnant at that time and you don't, before you're married, you're engaged and this is kind of a mess. There's a mess going on here. But Joseph took the high road. And I like Joseph because Joseph inspires me to be kind and be loyal and to believe the best about other people instead of the worst. So I like that I'm named after Joseph, because I try to see the very best in people. When people come to me for counseling, I don't hear you tell me your past, but I don't care about your past. I care about the very best that's going to come forward by means of this conversation. So I don't look and judge people by their past. I don't even look and judge them by their present. I don't judge them at all. I just say, I want you to be the very best you can be. So how about if we start thinking about how can I be a little more like Mary? Get it? Mary's got something. Gabriel and Joseph. How can we take just those three people, those three symbols, and make them part of our rebirth into a Christ consciousness for this holiday season? How we can be more giving and more loving and more understanding, and how we can cross over those borders and talk to people, and how we can bring love into a room and be that breath of heaven for people. Can we give birth to that? Next thing. So they lacked the efficiency of our present-day government and used a rather old, chaotic way to get a head count. So the story goes that we've got these characters, and they needed to do a census. Now, how many of you were born in Palm Desert? So today, if we had to do that today, and we said, everybody, go to where you were originally born, and we're going to do a head count, the church would be empty today. So now everybody has got to go back to where they were born and be counted into the census. So can you imagine that, right? Imagine all of you. California would be empty, right? I mean, all of us most of us are transplants, right? So California, the cost of everything would go way down. Okay. So there was a long journey to Bethlehem. In fact, Mary was 9 months pregnant. She was riding Joseph's ass all the way there. That donkey had to hold her up and walk and walk and walk, right? But interesting, they call him Jesus of, but he was born in, what? Shouldn't it be Jesus of Bethlehem? Was he born in Bethlehem or was he born in Nazareth? And you know, you ever see those shows where they show the nativity scene and they show the shepherds walking through these blizzards? You know the ones I'm talking about? They're trudging through the snow and they're swaddling baby Jesus and they've got a fire because it's blustery cold outside. You know what I'm talking about? Well, the problem is Bethlehem and its climate is more like Temecula. Okay? So I don't see any blizzards in Temecula. There may be an occasional snow, but certainly not enough to have collected and to have you tromp through the snow. So the thing about this story is that there may be some inconsistencies, right? This is not CSI. We're not trying to get to the bottom line, right? When there's inconsistencies in a story like this that's written in the Bible and you know, it's been passed on, we don't look for the consistency of the storyline. We look for what we can take from it as a lesson. Can we agree with that? So we're going to be able to poke things and go, well, doesn't Nazareth, Bethlehem, with snow, you know, no. Let's just go for the lesson in this. Does that make sense? All right. So it's cold. It's late. There's no reservations. There's no Airbnb. They go into Bethlehem. And keep in mind, at that point, it's like Coachella. You know the city when it's like Coachella? Every hotel is full and every Airbnb is full and all of your friends have borrowed every couch and bedroom and it's just jam-packed. So there was a buzz going on in Bethlehem, much like there's a buzz during Coachella Fest. Something's going to happen and the city is full. The city is full. And they're like, man, we have no place to stay. So they literally were walking around and asking people, is there a place where we can stay? And the innkeeper said, you know what? One of the innkeepers said, you know, I'm full, but you can take basically my garage. It's a modern day garage. That's what we would call it, a shed, right? Or maybe like a little barn where some animals are kept. But it's not like the sprawling, it's not the Hyatt, right? It's not the Marriott. This happened in a really small little garage. And so what does that mean? What does that mean? Something so insignificant like a garage could harbor an event that would change lives. It wasn't like born in a palace or Cedar Sinai, right? It was born in a humble little garage. Think about that. So picture this. The shepherds are watching their stars. Now, it couldn't have been blizzard, too much of a blizzard, because they were out watching the stars. It was a clear night, right? So they're out there watching their stars, they're watching their flocks, and another angel came down and said to them, something is going down in B-Town, right? In Bethlehem. You got to hightail it to Bethlehem because something is going on. So the shepherds were in this meditative state, kind of like Coachella kids up there looking, you know? You don't know what they were doing. Were you there? You don't know what that, Marion, were they smoking something? We don't know. what made it really special for them to have this revelation and an angel come down and start talking to them. But we don't care about that part of the story. What we know is that something good was going to happen. They got a message that something was going to happen, and glory was all around them. They were surrounded by it. All right? So the angels hooked them up and said, you got to go down to Bethlehem because this guy named Jesus is coming. And they're like, okay, sure. There's a message there. So why the shepherds? Why do you think the angels chose the shepherds to give this message to? They didn't give it to a king and a ruler. They didn't give it to CNN or Headline News. They gave it to a shepherd. Because shepherds at the time were considered the lowliest of low. They were like, laborers, and they were poor, and they just, they're living, day to day, hour to hour. The message there is that it doesn't have to come from some star. That message came to the lowliest of low, that something amazing is going to happen, which all gives us the idea that, hey, we may not think we're a superstar, but we are certainly life's little shepherds, and we're eligible to get a message like this. We're capable of getting a message that says there is something special in your life that can happen. You just need to show up and make it happen. Does that sound right? All right? So, the lesson is this. It made a statement that the good was about to happen, and it was for everyone, from the poorest to the richest, which wasn't happening at the time. So think about it. Back then, it was only the elite that would get a message like this. But no, this was coming from the bottom up, not from the top down. So that's kind of an interesting perspective when you think about it at the time. At the same time, in a distant land, the wisest and wealthiest were reading the signs of the time. And we're not talking the LA Times and New York Times. Reading the signs of the time. How did people at that time read the signs of the time? Astronomy. They were reading the stars. So they were looking up at the heavens and figuring out cosmically what things are happening. That's where astrology started around that time. So that's when all that started to move around. So you think about that. Then they saw this bright light. They're like, whoa, there's a bright light. They're like, we have to follow that light. There's something going, that's different. That's just different. We have never seen this before. So now if you're one of the wealthiest and wise of the wise, and you're going off on a venture, because they didn't have a GPS, they had no idea how long they were going to be traveling, right? Didn't have Google Maps, didn't even have a map. They just kind of like traveled by the light. So if you had this map, you had this light, if you were one of the richest and wealthiest people, what would you take with you on your travel? Your riches and your wealth, because guess what? You're going to have to buy your way right along. So the gifts that were actually given to Jesus at the time were basically, they were wonderful gifts, but they were also gifts that these people were using for survival to get from point A to point B, because that was how they traded things. Get it? So those were wonderful gifts, but they were also gifts that were used to allow people to live. So the gifts that were given to Jesus are really symbols of how we live in prosperity and abundance. Are you with me? All right, are you bored? All right, good. All right. That's why they were singing We Three Kings song. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. So that's, now off go the wise men on this journey. So now you got the shepherds heading there, you got the wise men heading there, they're hanging out in some garage, and something's going to go down. Something really exciting. So the lesson is this: God's good is not bound by race, geography, or nationality. It's for everyone. Borders and labels are irrelevant when you follow the light. Oh, what a message. And it's not a Christian message, it's a Christ message. It's something you can apply to anyone. I mean, let's face it, when Jesus was born, he wasn't a Christian. He was a Jew. Hold on to your hats. When Jesus died, he was still a Jew. Think about it. If you said to Jesus, you're a Christian right now, he'd go, wait, what? When did that happen? But when you think about it, a prophet, a teacher, a savior for some, look, this is a wonderful thing that's happening here. It doesn't matter about the borders or the labels or the religion or the philosophy. It's all about in the light. It's about absorbing the light. Last night when we had our candlelight service, it was about watching those lights in this room just light up. And it was a magical moment when every one of us brought our light to the table. So away in a manger, today's basic garage, Mary gave birth to the baby that has become a symbol of God's love in the world, which is why he's sometimes called Emmanuel, which meaning God is with us. So Emmanuel was a word that meant God is with us. God is among us. And so God's always with us and among us, because once that happens and we recognize our own divinity in this, we are giving birth to the Christ within us all times. Does that make sense? All right? Manger, there's a lesson. There's lessons in the manger. Powerful example that despite the fact that circumstances were not perfect, something wonderful can happen. Wow. Can you take that and apply that to your life? Are you waiting for the perfect thing to line up absolutely perfectly before you bust a move? Before you make a move? Well, hey, it wasn't perfect for even when Jesus was born. Those things weren't lining up. 9 months pregnant, riding in a donkey, sleeping in a manger, a shed, and giving birth. That's not exactly what I would call the best of circumstances. Would you? So, I may not think I'm ready, but good is coming anyway. Sometimes we're not ready for it, but good's coming. And we have to allow ourselves to, just like Mary. Could you imagine? Hey, Mary, a 14-year-old, this is going to be your kid. You are carrying what's going to be known as the Savior of the people. He's going to bring a message unto this people that no one else has brought up till now, that's been squelched and held down. 14 years old. They don't even have driver's licenses when they're 14 years old. You know? And you're giving that to responsibility. So I don't think she was probably mentally prepared for that. But she kept going, just like Nikki was singing. Just kept going. No matter what we're going through or what it looks like, no matter what we've done or failed to do, good is always being born. Say that, please. Good is always being born. No matter what you've done, no matter what you're going to do, matters not. Good is always being born. So let's review these characters again. Maybe we can give birth to some of these Christ qualities this holiday season. Okay? You may not be great at all of them, but I would just say be open and receptive to the idea that some of these you and I can be better at. I need to be more like Mary. Let love live in me. I love the way Nikki was saying, should I gain any praise, let it be to the God that's coming through me. Did you hear her sing that? You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it because there's something within you that's trying to express God. I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. So let God live in us. Joseph, see the good in others. Woo. Can we be a little more like Joseph this year? Maybe hold back on some of the rhetoric around the table of discussions about things, say politics. Right? And if you can't see the good, just stop talking. Right? Another one, shepherds. Know that God is for all of us. Not just some of us, but all of us. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody has led a perfect life, nor will we continue to lead perfect lives. But God is for all of us. So I want to be a little bit more like a shepherd and see people, the good in people. The manger. Good is always being born no matter the condition. Sometimes we can look at life's conditions and go, I don't know how good is going to come from this. But if I was more Christ-like, I would go, but I know it is. I may not know what it looks like in the moment, but I know that it's coming. Finally, the kings. The kings that shown up, love knows nothing but love. Love knows nothing but love. There are no borders, there are no labels, there's no race, color, creed, or sexual orientation. They didn't care. They all came from different cultures. all descended at one time to do one thing, and that's celebrate the birth of love. I want to be more like a king, much to some of your surprise, right? There are a lot of symbols in the story, and we can always talk about those, but for me today, the thing I want to remember, especially today, is that the overall message is, let heaven and nature sing. Let heaven and nature sing to love one another. And I said this to the first service, and I'm going to say it again. You know, when we look out at the world, are we really loving one another? If we walk past a homeless person and we label or judge or we don't do anything and we just continue to walk past these situations, are we really walking in that Christ consciousness? I mean, are we really? And that's the question you have to answer for yourself, because it's a difficult one to answer sometimes. I know sometimes I walk past situations, and Trey and I have had this new thing where we're just walking by. We feel so blessed that no matter what we do, we try to do something. You know, it's not me to judge. It's not up for me to judge what they're going to do with $1 that I give them, or if I go buy them food, or if I give them a gift card to Ralph's. It's not up to me to judge what they do with it. It's up to me to help feed them or give them water. Do the very best I can. Do something instead of doing nothing. I ask myself, what would Christ do? What would Jesus the man do? Do you think he'd walk past these situations? Hell no. Literally, hell no. He'd get himself right in the middle of it and see what he could do. So to love one another and to bring joy into the world. To bring joy into the world means that we have to watch our conversations, keep them in heaven. Stop criticizing one another. Stop judging one another. Jesus didn't judge anybody. Anybody who takes the Bible and says that Jesus judged, what they've done is they have literally rewritten the text. Because Jesus speaks ill of no one at all. People who rewrote the Bible for people in different books, they have put judgment in there, but if you follow the teachings of Jesus, there was no judgment whatsoever. Love your brother, love your neighbor like yourself, don't skip houses, right? Love everybody. Do the very best we can, love one another. That's what we need now. We need the birth of a love consciousness more than ever right now in this world. If we all turned our love notch up by 1, we could change the vibration of this whole community. If we don't go into the depths of talking about things that are bad and negative all the time, if we could just take 1 notch up and take 1 chance to not go there, we will increase the vibration of this community. That to me is what this is about. That's to me what the birth of Christ is about, the Christ consciousness, that of love, of joy, of peace. That's what this is about. So become more of those characters, become more of those symbols, and allow yourself to experience this holiday with a renewed look at what this really means. Because glory shines all around us, but only we are the ones who radiate its glory. It doesn't happen by anything else or anyone else, but by means of us. Can we accept that responsibility? Because that's what we're here to do. At least that's what I think. So that's my spin on the Christmas story, and so ends your lesson. Thank you. Thank you. So, I've got a 2 o'clock flight to catch because I'm going to go be with my family in Washington, D.C. So I bless all of you. I want to say thank you. Have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate that. I will see you here next Sunday, same time, same place. Thank you again for everything. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you.
So would the ushers please come forward? And those of you that are live streaming, please, there's a donate button there. Please make your donation, or you can also text to the number on the screen. All right, so in this season of giving, let us feel that gratitude as we prepare our offering and we share with the center, knowing that what we put out comes back to us, pressed down and overflowing. And let's say our offertory prayer together. I offer this gift with joy and gratitude. I receive freely and give freely, knowing the law of circulation is working perfectly in my life and the life of this center. tell everybody your name and tell us how long you've been coming here, David.
I'm David Yoder, and I've been coming 4 or 5 years, I guess. It seems like I've been always here.
I know. Are you sure that's all? It's longer than that, David.
Well, the time goes by.
I know. Time flies when you're having a great time, right?
Right.
All right.
The first time I ever heard Dr. Joe was at Selamar, and I said, I have to go down to that church.
Yay. Well, good. Thank you, Dave. Well, we're happy you're here. So at this time, let's bless our offering. Let's hold out our hands and send love and that light to our offering. We bless this collective offering and receive it with gratitude, knowing it is spirit in action. As this currency flows through our center and beyond, it blesses many lives, including my own. Thank you, David. Go ahead and give it to Dale. She'll take it.
Traveler, that first song that Nikki sang, she has that on her CD. She's selling her CDs out there. Please pick up on their great gift,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Thank you. Safe travels, Dr. Joe. At this time, I'd like to welcome our guests. If you are here for the very first time, please stand. Don't be bashful. We have a gift for you, and we'd love to welcome you here. So what? Oh, back there. Did you get? Yeah. Did you get one back there? Did you get a CD, sir? Okay. All right, good. All right, so what we've given you is a CD holder with information about the center. Please stop by the table out front, the foyer, and get a CD of a couple of Dr. Joe's talks. And we welcome you. If you're visiting, enjoy your holiday stay here. If you're from the Valley, please come back. We'd love for you to make this your spiritual home. At this time, I'd like for my practitioners and ministers to please stand. These are our prayer team. Michael back there has been holding high watch for us. And these are the practitioners that will be over in the Om room. So if you're going through anything, Reverend Marion's up. If you're going through anything, please go in there and stop by and have a prayer for you. Set the new year right. All right. And so here is a list of what's going on. Soul Sisters, it's on there by mistake. It shouldn't be on there. They will not be meeting until, I think it's January the 10th. So they'll be off for the next 2 Thursdays. So I think that's it. So I want to wish you all a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holiday, and let's do a closing prayer. So in this holy, holy season, the season of lights and love, let us know that each one of us is giving birth to something amazing, to an amazing life, and that love and that light that is within us is shining through, touching everyone that we come into contact with. And so I know that each and every one of us, that we are part of one family, that family of humanity. And we teach and we treat each other with that love and that respect and compassion, knowing that we are so blessed, knowing that whatever it is, whatever seeds that we plant right here and right now, we are making a demand on the universe, knowing that God's Spirit, divine intelligence always says yes. So we are birthing new ideas, new ways of being, even grander in the new year coming. So I am so thankful for each person here, for our amazing music, Dr. Joe, our practitioners and staff, everyone that makes this Sunday and every Sunday so amazing and so special. Knowing that our lives are transformed by these services, by these music and talks, we just know that all is well and all is unfolding perfectly. So I release my word into the law, knowing that this is the truth, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. Don't forget the poinsettias. So if you want to take a poinsettia home, come on up and we'll grab some poinsettias. Merry Christmas, everyone.